Allemaal restauratiebehoevende vliegtuigen. Of wat ooit gerestaureerd gaat worden, dat is de vraag. Hallo? Hallo? Ja, waanzinnig. Het is echt waanzinnig. Dat zal wel. Dit is dus het zusje van de Enola Gay. Het vliegtuig wat dus de atoombom op Hiroshima heeft laten vallen. Deze is nog wel in een iets andere staat als de Enola Gay, die in het Smithsonian staat. Maar deze zal ook ooit eens zo zijn zoals de Enola Gay nu is. Vleugels. En dan noemden ze dit type vliegtuig een Superfortress. Maar als je dan kijkt naar hoe de cockpit eruit ziet, wat voor kleine ruimte eigenlijk. Ik weet niet of het te zien is door alle schittering, maar... Er staan hier dus restauratieprojecten van vliegtuigen van hoofdzakelijk uit de Tweede Wereldoorlog. Maar ook gewoon vliegtuigen uit, zoals deze, 1922. Waar praktisch niks meer van over is. Of deze uit 1920. Het is echt ongelooflijk wat Kermit the Weeks hier allemaal in collectie heeft. En dit is dus eigenlijk alleen allemaal privaat eigendom. Het is gewoon een verzamelaar die een klein beetje geld te veel heeft. En zijn hobby goed uitvoert. Heel veel van zijn collectie is dus met orkaan Andrew vernietigd in Zuid-Florida. Daarom heeft hij hier dus toentertijd ook maar een dependance van zijn verzameling neergezet.
Maar dit zijn dus de vleugels van deze.
Kijk, er loopt nog een Nederlander. Die heeft ook commentaar, levert hij op wat hij filmt. Dag meneer.
Hallo. Waar komt u vandaan?
Ik kom uit Heinenoord. Wat toevallig zeg. Maar eer dat alles klaar is, alles gerestaureerd is,
Maar ja, ik denk
zijn we toch wel gauw 50 jaar verder.
qua onderdelen heeft hij natuurlijk best wel heel veel over.
Ja.
Zie je wel dat ze de vormen van zo'n vliegtuig uit de natuur halen. Het is net een vis.
En in de tweede hangar staan dus hoofdzakelijk allemaal motoren. Motoren van allerlei groottes. Maar ook het wrak van een 1946 Gloster Meteor. Dat is 's werelds eerste straalvliegtuig. En ook deze wil hij weer vliegwaardig maken. Ach ja, als je niks met je tijd hebt, dan doe je zulke dingen. Dit is dus een vliegtuigmotor zonder de cilinders. Sorry.
En dit zijn de drijfstangen. En die zitten natuurlijk aan de krukas. En als je ziet hoe complex die krukas is. En hoe massief en massaal. En hoe mooi eigenlijk ook gemaakt voor zoiets ouds. Want dat is prachtig gesmeed en gepolijst. Het glimt je tegemoet. En dan zie je de contragewichten. Want er zitten dus meerdere drijfstangen en zuigers dus aan één plek op de krukas. Dus daar heb je contragewicht nodig voor te balanceren. Anders trilt hij als een gek. En die zitten hier. En die zijn echt enorm. Waanzinnig.
Net stonden we dus in hangars waar allemaal restauratieprojecten waren. En nu zijn we in het gedeelte waar alle gerestaureerde en ook gewoon vliegende vliegtuigen staan. Al deze vliegtuigen kunnen gewoon de lucht in. Behalve deze natuurlijk.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fantasy of Flight's Aircraft of the Day, where we take one of our classic aircraft that's ready for flight and put it in the air for your enjoyment. Today's aircraft's been warming up over on the ramp of the maintenance hangar for the last couple of minutes and is taxiing up now to takeoff position. This is the Fiesler 156 Storch, which is German for stork. It's amazing how that language sounds a lot like ours. Pretty unique aircraft. This is a actual German World War II short takeoff and landing or STOL aircraft. It's used for reconnaissance, observation, liaison work, and also as a flying field ambulance, believe it or not. We'll tell you more about that in a second. Pilot today is Dave Dudley. He's taxiing the position. And he's gonna, well, I guess he's gonna have kind of a slow takeoff roll. Oh no, he's getting up there ahead of the, gonna let that little crawler get behind him, I think. Now usually, for some reason we have the curse of the Storch where the wind just dies down to nothing. But today we've got a little bit of a breeze, so we might have a pretty brisk takeoff. He usually gets off in a few seconds. Well, it's 5 seconds by Penelope's counting, which, considering she's from 1929, hey, at least I was in the right decade. Seconds were a little quicker back then, so we'll say it was 4 seconds. Yeah. Gerhard Fiesler. The leading edge of the wing, you'll see, because when Mr. Dudley's done flying the aircraft, he's going to land it, and he's going to taxi it right behind me, and you'll be able to come out and get as close as you like the aircraft, although we do ask you to be respectful and not touch or hug or lick the airplane. It's not a good thing to do. Yeah, the airplane. Not you, the airplane. Penelope, you're on your own recognizance with her. What was I talking about? Slots. Yes, the slot in the airplane, you'll see, it looks like a little wing right in front of the main wing, and it gives it its incredible flying abilities, which is mainly slow flight. It's not going to be a fast airplane. It's never going to be a fast airplane. But when the nose starts pitching up as the airplane slows, what happens in most normal airplanes is the air starts to sort of curl over the top of the wing and becomes, it no longer remains separated or connected to the airplane, and it stalls. Oh, look, there you go. He's got about 20, 30 degrees of flaps down there and just poking along into the breeze. This airplane can fly as slow as 25 miles per hour before the air does finally separate from the top of the wing. But what's happening is, as you see the nose is high like it is, the air is coming up through that slot, and that slot accelerates the air, helping it stay attached to the wing. You guys got all that? It's going to be a test later, right?
Yeah.
The bird was flying faster? Yeah, now see, he's putting the nose down. He's going to pick the speed up a little bit. So this enables this airplane to do some amazing things. You know, find out where the enemy troops are, get officers or the like in and out of frontline battlefield areas. The landing gear of this is really enjoying itself. Now the downside of this is, and we keep asking him not to do this, he just came from over I-4. The problem is that motorists think the Florida Highway Patrol is contracted with a World War II German aircraft to run speed traps. So, yeah, we have about every day at 1:30 we'll slow down a few hundred cars on I-4. Except for when we fly the P-51. I don't think they slow down for that. Oh, look at that. He's really getting it. He's hanging it up there now. That aircraft is basically right now in the same position it would be sitting on its wheels on the ground. Now, if you'll all look to your left, you'll see a chain link fence over there, and you'll see an opening in that chain link fence. Occasionally, and this happened actually just about a week ago, Mr. Weeks was flying the Storch. Down right now, they're inboard on the wing, and these change the shape of the wing. They kind of help give it a little bit more, really helps the slow flight a lot. This has a unique feature. When you crank the flaps down past about 30, 40 degrees, the ailerons, which is the part that causes the wing to bank, actually begin to droop as well. What we call flaperons. So basically it's almost like a full span flap for the wing. So it can really, really slow down out there. Now, the Germans have had some pretty innovative aircraft throughout World War II, and World War I for that matter. And they had quite a few helicopters during World War II. A lot of people always credit Igor Sikorsky with inventing the helicopter, but he got into production. But no, they had big, heavy recovery helicopters, scout helicopters, anti-tank helicopters. They had a slew of helicopters. And they were trying to get a helicopter to rescue Benito Mussolini after the partisans had captured him. Unfortunately, they couldn't get one close enough to where he was, but they had a Fieseler Storch nearby, so they flew into a mountaintop courtyard where he was being held, threw him and another fellow in the back, flew off the side of the cliff there, got up enough airspeed, and there you go, he got rescued. Chucked in the back of the Storch. Of course, the joke around is, he got hung up a little later, right? Yeah. But he was popular enough at the time that they flew in there. The gentleman's name was pilot was Squarzini, and we had a gentleman here who was a former Wehrmacht trooper, and he was actually telling us a little bit about that story. It was pretty good. That's what I heard. Well, folks, after this at 2:15 will be your only opportunity today to see where we get aircraft in less than airworthy condition into amazing, pristine, as delivered, new off the factory showroom floor condition. And that is our restoration shop tour. That'll be right out here in front at 2:15 or just in a little while. Also, too, if you're curious about engines, you want to know where those inverted engines, those round engines, such as that, you can join me for the engine tour. That'll be at 2:30 at the same place as well. We've got some backlot tram tours. We got two more today. We'll take you over the maintenance hangar, one at 2:45, one at 3:30. Speaking of 3:30, a little bit before that, at 3 o'clock is when the Compass Rose restaurant closes. If you've not had a bite to eat or you feel like you need a little snack, go check those folks out right off the lobby. And mention the lobby, the gift shop's there as well. So if you need a little memento to take home from your visit here from Fantasy Flight, we've got lots of good stuff in there in the gift shop, and they're open till 5 o'clock. And that big contraption with the cables and ladders and stuff, that's open to 5 as well. That's Wing Walk Air, 36 ways to stimulate your body, so to speak, and zip back and forth and tempt our Pond Gator. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Dudley and the Fieseler 156 Storch. I like it when he brings the shade.
it lands in the water, and it lands on runway. And when it lands in the water, those wingtips, they fold on down, become pontoon for stability. That's a consolidated PBY Catalina 5A model. The eyes and ears of the Pacific Fleet during the war rescued many a downed pilot out of shark-infested waters, and on-shore patrol sunk a few submarines while it was at it. And it also shadowed the Japanese fleet because it could stay airborne for about 16 exotic birds. So please, folks, if you're a foreigner to Florida and you see an alligator, don't go give him a hand. You won't give it back. This is our turn of terror. Hold on tight. Eddie threw me off in the water this morning. That's why my clothes are still wet. I got goosebumps all over me today. We're going to stop here at the engine bay. You hear the house sound of the horn. There's some benches inside. Nice soft steel benches. Watch your head getting on.
We have two different types of engines in here. The first type I wanted to talk about are the ones up on the racks on the wall, all the way off to your right. 38 Lightning, or a P-40 Warhawk, or a P-39 Air Cobra. Even the early Mustangs had that Allison engine. It's a V12. Produced about 1,500 horsepower at best. They were pretty good engines. Good thing to have a radiator in an engine, airplane engine though, because it really did a good job of keeping the engine cool. But there was a drawback to that. Yeah. If you had a radiator, you also had a liquid coolant.
They're just sitting there right now looking neat. About 50 of them, a V-29, Japanese Zero, lots of planes. You can go over there anytime from 10 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock to jump on the trolley and go over there. On your left, we have the Lockheed Constellation Starliner. That was a collaboration between Howard Hughes, Kelly Jackson of Lockheed. Howard Hughes wanted to use it as a flagship for his fledgling TWA. Carried chocolates for the nurses. Well, we have an idea. Anyway, next to that, right there is a biplane, a beautiful biplane. It has a cream-colored propeller. There's a Sopwith Snipe. That is a exact recreation of a 1916 airplane. It's built by Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, King Kong the Hobbit. He's a lover of World War I aircraft. He's opened up a factory in New Zealand where he builds planes just like that, built to authentic 1916 standards, using exact materials and procedures. There's no GPS or no bells and whistles on this airplane. It is as it was original. It even has an original Bentley BR2 rotary engine in it. It came out of our engine bay that we just came from. The only thing is that you saw the one that Eddie was turning in the engine bay? This one is 3 times bigger. 240 horsepower, and it is airworthy. It's considered an airworthy airplane. There's only 2 of them flying, well, 3 flying in the world today. 2 of them have been restored beautifully, but this one is it is a time capsule. You climb aboard it, it would be like going back in time to World War II. It can be made to fly. It's not currently flying, but if you got $1 million and you come in here and say, I want to make a movie and I need this airplane, we will get it airborne in a couple of months. Building a home-built aircraft, you went and looked at that and said, I got to have me one of these.
lekker heen en weer.
Plans for a home-built aircraft. By the time he was 21, he was flying it. Taught himself to fly.
Staat dus gewoon binnen als decoratie de bommenwerk. Dat is dat vlakte. Ja, het is zinnig gemaakt allemaal.
Ja.